made me me, you know, long story short, is my mom took me to North Carolina when I was in high school.
Jersey, New Jerusalem.
Boxcar Productions, another smash.
My future's bright, nothing but clear skies. Bars low and chain, who's down to fly?
And if you ain't with it, forget it. On to the next now.
Who's down to fly?
Let go.
First of all, I just finished my freshman year of high school, and I had all my clique, and everybody said, you know, you're good. Like, you're in all the different cliques, you know what I'm saying? You're pretty popular. And then my mom said, listen, we're going to go to North Carolina. If you don't like it, we'll move back. I love my mom to death, you know, never say a bad word. But you know what? We went down there. She knew we wasn't going anywhere. You know what I mean? So on top of tearing myself away from all of that, as far as school and social life, I was getting away from my aunt, you know, my family, especially my grandmother. That was like my second mother that I loved pretty much as my mom at the time. You know, so we went down there and found out it was like a different world. Here I went down there, I had my Kango, my suits, you know, my shell-toed Adidas, the Gazelles, and I'm walking, I might as well have been a Martian to these people, you know what I mean? And I went to a school that the principal was literally like that dude in Dukes of Hazzard, Boss Hogg. That was that dude. He didn't look like him, but he talked and acted like him. So long story short, while I was down there was nothing but racism, me getting jumped all the time. So that thrust into, I had a couple white friends, but they kind of bailed on me when I was getting that treatment because they didn't want to be associated with that dude as cool as I thought we were. You know what I mean? So I started chilling with my black friends all the time, which kind of brought even more trouble as far as from the community down there, to where, long story short, I had crosses burned in my yard. You know what I mean? On top of being jumped every day, you know what I'm saying? We went out to get concert tickets, man. I came home, there was a cross burned in my yard. I mean, not the 40-foot KKK cross, but you know, a little cross just to put a message out there, because they had a thing down there called the Ku Klux Youth, which was quiet as kept, but it was like, you know, just like the Klan, people that you wouldn't even think of, they were in this stuff, you know, following their daddies and granddaddies, you know, coming after you if you was different. And down there, the only thing worse than being black at that time, in the area that I was in, was being white from up north, coming down there and chilling with black dudes and dating black girls. Man, that was like beyond a no-no. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you put that, you know, that target, you know what I'm saying? And, I mean, it is what it is, man. You know, I had a good time with my friends down there. We did a lot of things, you know what I'm saying, together. I loved hip-hop even more. Like I said, you know, right at that time, Public Enemy came out with Public Enemy #1, and then Rebel Without a Pause. And I got it even more than most, because I'm like, I love this. Like, it just amped me up, you know what I'm saying? Which is what hip-hop did at the time. And I've said this before, too. I can't imagine ever again people looking at a movement, because that's what hip-hop is. Like, today, it's pretty much, unless, you know, you're certain acts or you're, you know, kind of old school, it's not a movement anymore. It's a retail movement. You know what I mean? It doesn't give you excitement, man, because nothing in this world got you more excited than the next artist coming down the pike. And I don't just mean hip-hop artist, rapper. I mean, who's the next DJ that's going to excite you and do something different? You know, do a different trick and take off their shirts and, you know what I'm saying, and mix and transform, and it was just amazing. You know, Terminator X, when he came out there and do the transforming, it was just like, it gave you goosebumps. It got you so amped and excited. Like, it gets me excited to today, man. That's why I say to this day, I love my man DJ Skills, and every record, every album I ever do, I'm gonna have a couple records on it that's got the scratching on it, because I love it. You know what I'm saying? Even if some people don't get it, like, oh man, he's old school. And here's the thing that gets me, not to take away from that, and I'll get back into that story while I'm thinking about it. hip hop is the only genre, not even genre. What am I gonna say here? I mean, it's a culture, but hip hop music, which is part of a culture, not the element of rap, you know. Because again, for those of you who don't know, hip hop is a culture. It's a way of life. It's a way you live. It's how you feel. It's your heart beating a certain way and getting excited over a certain thing, which is the four elements and the sub elements of those elements, which is, you know, the breakdance and the DJ and, you know what I'm saying, the rapping, the graffiti, you know what I'm saying? Every part of it gets me excited. And I could sit and listen to the legends for hours. You know what I'm saying? There's a few voices in life. Forget the excitement it gets me to hear KRS-One rap. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother wow. You know what I mean? But just talking, like if you've ever been to his seminar or listened to one of his seminars, just hearing him talk, there's a few voices. Him, Malcolm X, you know, you just could listen to for hours. You know what I'm saying? I can't even explain it unless you heard the charisma and the knowledge and the way they, you know, put it out there. But anyway, so I was down there when all that was coming out, so I understood it even more. You know what I'm saying? But I had to get back home. After the crosses burned in my yard and after the calls to my house threatening my mom and all that stuff, you know, I said peace up to my people. I came back to New Jersey and, you know, didn't know what I was going to do, but I decided, you know what, I'm going to go to college. You know what I mean? Why not? So taking everything that I've been through in life, and now with my love of hip hop, and now with my thirst for the civil rights movement and the leaders, you know what I'm saying? You know, the two books that I've read in my life, cover to cover, and one of them multiple times was the autobiography of Malcolm X and The Message to a Black Man in America by Minister Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I read both of them, but you know, the way Alex Haley put that book together, man, like I read that multiple times, and then I kind of delved into that. So it kind of helped get a background to what all went down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you see a lot of the white cats, and they're sympathetic, and they march because of what they, you know, of an injustice or whatever, but they don't delve into, you know, and even some black people don't delve into, like, what are the facts? Like, what happened in the South? What happened, you know, exactly? You know, like when I started coming back home, I mean, it was like open season on black dudes by the police or by racist dudes, be it New York or be it in northern places. You know what I'm saying? I know the first thing we did when I went to college, you know, because I was in the Black Student Union, the first thing we did was march for the whole Yusef Hawkins thing to, you know, and then, of course, it came down to other cases as well, you know, the Tawana Brawley and getting to the bottom of that, and apartheid, and Nelson Mandela, and so all this marching came with information. And then came the AIDS movement, which hit close to home with me because my aunt, which was like my third mother, she came down with HIV. Well, didn't come down with it. She got diagnosed with HIV and turned into AIDS, so I took care of her. Me and my first wife, you know, took care of her until she passed, you know, so that was tough. All of which made me me and made me the person that has a knowledge of what's going on in the world and what I love. Because, you know, you can't be just one of these people like today. These rappers just come in and they're making tons of money and show you piles of money. And then when asked, yeah, they think it's just cool and part of the culture to say, I'm the best that ever happened. And then when you ask them, well, you're the best group that ever happened. What about, you know, EPMD? And what about, you know, Run DMC, and they said, well, they had their time, man, you know, but they can't keep up with what we're doing, and it boils my blood, you know what I mean? So it's not about me, not to get off track here, it's not about the whole mumble. I know everybody's that mumble rap and this, that, and that. I don't care what you do and how you make your money, that's fine. But the bottom line is you gotta have a respect for the culture that you're making money in. Now, unfortunately now, in this day and age, the only element that anybody even pays attention to anymore, sadly enough, is the rapping element. So if you want to go ahead and call everybody that comes down the pike rappers, then fine. But don't throw hip-hop into something that is not hip-hop, because it ain't. And I'll say that, and I'll look you in the eye. All you rappers out there that don't know the difference between Kool Herc and Kool Moe Dee, you are not hip-hop. So MTV, VH1, BET, whoever you are, change the title on the award show from hip-hop to rap. All right? Keep it that. Just like you got K-pop and pop and rock, keep the hip-hop acts as hip-hop acts. Keep the rappers, or as I call them, the trending listers, the ringtone music people, keep them in their own category. Enough respect due. I'm not knocking no hustles. Make your money, do your whatever you call it. That's cool with me. You know what I'm saying? But when you don't know, I mean, come on, man. You know, when you don't know the difference between one legend from another, or don't care, or feel like, and that's the sad part about it. Again, I'm getting off track, but I don't care because you said this is what it is. Hip-hop is the only culture. Let me rewind that. Even rap, music, the element is the only one that's frowned upon as people get older. You talk about racism, you know, I say fuck racism. What about ageism? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Ageism is killing hip-hop, and that's all races. You know what I'm saying? Why is it that kids nowadays could be tooling down the road, blasting some Pink Floyd and Rolling Stones, and their peers and other people are like, all right, dude, you know what I mean? That's that shit. But if I go, because it's happened, I do it all the time. Not just my age, but I like good music. I don't care what genre it is, but my love is hip-hop. And I love my hip-hop legends. So if I'm rolling down the street, you know what I'm saying, and I'm rocking some Crash Crew, or I'm rocking some Cold Crush Brothers, or I'm rocking some BDP, or I'm rocking some Kane, or I'm rocking some PE, or I'm rocking some Beastie Boys even, you know what I'm saying? Why is people frowning upon that? And I'm not even talking about white people, I'm talking about black people too. You know what I'm saying? These young black cats on the side of the road, you know what I'm saying, that are into the trap music, they look at it like, that shit is whack. Why is that shit whack, man? Why can't, you know, my Big Daddy Kane record hold up to the Rolling Stones record? Why? I don't understand that. It makes me upset. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish that you could take all these cats and take them back in the time portal and feel the feeling, what it felt like when every event changed in hip-hop. You know what I mean? When you went from the Cold Crush, Melly Mel, Curtis Blow, and then boom, you go into the Beastie Boys and Run DMC. And then from there, boom, you go into LL and Rakim and Kane. And then boom, the next change, you know, Public Enemy. You know what I'm saying? Poor Righteous Teachers. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and my biggest love, you know, close to my biggest love, Tribe Called Quest, rest in peace, Phife Diggy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish you knew the feeling that felt, and not only that feeling, but the feeling that it felt to get off your lazy ass and go down to a Tower Records or a Sam Goody and pop those headphones on when that new shit came out. Or even like in our area, you had like a Mac Records, or if you're into vinyl, you know what I'm saying? You put the vinyl on, you put the headphones on, and you sample these new records that came out. It was the greatest feeling in the world. Like the greatest feeling in the world. I'm getting all amped up because it was the greatest feeling and time in the world to do that. It was an event. You know what I'm saying? It was like getting laid for the first time. Dope.